Greetings, I'm Chevalier and I bid you welcome to the illustration and guide of Ayutthaya. Again, I cannot pronounce this shit, but yeah, let's just delve into it and go really quick to it because I know you like quick stuff. So first and foremost, improve relations with Ligor so you can actually annex Ligor, and improve relations with Sukreti as well so you can actually annex them quite fast. The Ligor here does hate you because it's a different religion and that's unfortunate, but remember that you have cores on this guy so you can annex them quite fast. Your first target of opportunities should be this guys, and I'll say that either Lannan or Khmer, whatever floats your boat. In the situation right now, Khmer are rivaled by many of these guys. They won't get an alliance with Champa. They will get an alliance with Champa or an alliance with these guys here in Viet. And that's pretty much it. Then you can actually, they will not have access because these guys are not gonna give access, these guys are not gonna give access, so you can actually kill Khmer quite easily. Though they shouldn't be your first target. Their first target should be either Pegu or anybody that actually rivaled you that are the smallest basically. For example, right now I would say that your first target should be the smallest guys being Khmer, as I said before, followed by Lannan. This is somewhat problematic because you might not be able to beat Lannan. They might have the same amount of troops that you have, but remember that you have a decent general as well. You have a 4-shock general, so you can beat them, but be careful of their allies. So, just ally the enemies and attack. And I'm gonna talk about strategies for each of these expansions until they actually grow big enough. So, first and foremost, fabricate claims on Khmer, fabricate claims on Lannan, and that's about it. Attack Khmer for the province of Angkor, and Odong. Then just take these provinces here so you can actually pick them out. If you want to do something really cheeky, you can take the province of Tekhamao, so you can actually fabricate claims on Champa as well on this side, so you can actually attack Champa. You can get 2 more claims on Champa and plenty more claims on Khmer here. This is doable if you want to pay some diplo points there on that side. With the cores here, you can actually feed them either to Ligor and annex Ligor and feed them to Ligor and use the diplo points to core them, or you can just core them yourself. It's up to you how to pull it off. Whatever floats your boat, to be honest. If you really want to annex the Ligor quite fast, and they haven't built claims on these guys, for example, on Kedah and Patawani or Malacca, just feed them these lands quite fast so you can actually integrate them quite easily, so you can save some points there. So, Khmer should fall quite easily, even if they have an alliance with Viet, which they shouldn't actually have, mainly because, no, they should have an alliance with Viet though. Let's look at here a little bit. Yeah, they're friendly, so they'll have an alliance with Viet because they're friendly. But they're not going to be able to move to either Champa or Lansan. As you can see here, they are rivaled, they are basically friendly, so they might get an alliance. So yeah, there's gonna be a wall between Khmer and Viet, so they won't have any allies on that side. At the same time, if they ally somebody around this area here, for example Pegu or Lannan, you have the fort here in Ayutthaya, which is going to safeguard your rear, so you can actually focus on killing the Khmer, then coming back and killing the attacking enemies on the other side. So yeah, this is the fight against Khmer. Should take you about 5 years. As for how you should fight them, just build up your armies, go for a ritual fight here. As you can see, they have a level 1 fort. You can also wait for your vassals to come and use them as a cannon fodder, depending on how you want to do it. It's though recommended to use the vessels as cannon fodder, simply because you're gonna save some manpower there. And this is repeated for Lansan. And once you have taken Lansan, then most likely integrate Ligor, because they can be integrated instantly once you have the 190 opinion there. So once this is done, you can actually gain a decent amount of force limit and manpower, about let's say 20,000 to 22,000 force limit. That will allow you to basically just simply kill everybody here. Like, nobody is gonna be that big, right? So after a couple of this war against Khmer and the war against Lansan, you're gonna be really powerful, and nobody will basically try to fight against you. Your next target should be Pegu, followed by Lansan. These lands here should be fed to Sukhothai, and at the same time fabricate more claims so you can actually feed more lands to Sukhothai. Then annex Sukhothai once you have gained a decent chunk of these lands here, basically. Once they have, let's say, not, I'll say 100 development, 150 development, 200 development, depending on how much development you have on this side here as well. But yeah, once you they have this amount of development, you can just annex them quite fast. But this is part of the later game. So, expansions. I will say that you should be able to take all the Khmer, the Lansan, the Champa, Lansan, Hesawani, Ava, Arak, Pegu, and Taungu in the first 50 years, I would say. Right, with Dai Viet and Dai Viet here, which is the holdout, because they'll have problems. They'll have these are problems, but they're quite far away, so you won't be able to take them. They're gonna be left for the late game, for the start of the main game, for the, let's say, 1500, something around that line. Your mainly focus should be on taking Malacca. That's why I'm saying that this is gonna take you a while, because you have a secondary focus on Malacca and Pasai. So, expand on these areas here quite easily, This is basically trench warfare. There's nothing much more to say, other than good luck on the trench warfare up top. For the fights against Malacca, just ally the rival, for example, ally Pasai here, then ally Pasai, then attack Malacca and take lands from Malacca, feed some to Pasai, then over again, then over again, then over again. This should be done at the same time in 50 years. So in 50 years, you should have the regions of the Khmer, the Hesawani, the Lansan, the Ava, the Arakan, and the regions of Malacca, Pasai, Siak, and Papayong, basically. So all of this region here, you should have, I don't know, to be honest, you currently have 91 development, so you should probably have around 600 development. Once you take these provinces here, you should have around 60 development, 60, no, not 60 force limit, I'll say around 40 to 45 force limit there, and about 100 manpower per month. At the same time, once you have exploration ideas, which I recommend, just slowly take the lands here of Diego Garcia and this guy here of Coco's Islands, and move slowly onto the Cape of Good Hope, so then you can actually move on to the New World quite fast, depending on your luck. But remember that you might be strapped for cash, so try to be careful on that side as well if you are that much in luck with cash. So this is the early game. We should probably get you in a really good position to defend yourself against Ming. I'm saying Ming because, as you can see, you're most likely gonna border Ming. What this means is that you're gonna gain a decent amount of aggressive expansion when you're attacking Ming, and Ming might be upset and they might want to kill you. So for the early game, you should try to have an alliance with Ming, at the same time have full relations with Ming, royal marriage, improve relations, anything that you can do. Just make sure that Ming is not upset with you and doesn't want your head, and that's pretty much standard. At the same time, Ming might actually want to take the lands from Dai Viet. They'll gain claims from a mission to take Dai Viet, so that's gonna be a little bit annoying. So let's talk about the mid game. Mid game is simply taking the lands here and slowly taking the lands from here. That is a secondary war goal, and slowly moving into India, and slowly moving your trade capital from Bengal to Ceylon, then the Gulf of Aden. Another exception is that you can actually move your capital, your trade, what should I call it, basically? Let me find out the main trade city. So you can actually move your main trade city to the Cape of Good Hope if you control full Zanzibar. Right? Control the full Zanzibar, just push from Malacca to Zanzibar to the Cape of Good Hope and collect to the Cape of Good Hope. Controlling Zanzibar is simply done by having basically a colony here, then attacking these guys and taking and quarrying them and doing the same thing here, and slowly moving and taking fully control of the Zanzibar terminal. This should be your tertiary war goal, simply because here there are gold mines. If you look at here, you'll see that, where the fuck is that? Come on, trade goods. As you can see here, gold mines, gold mines, gold mines. So 5 gold mines here, which are really gonna boost your economy quite a lot, and will allow you to have a decent amount of cash for you. At the same time, you're gonna have control over the slave trade, which is gonna give you more tariffs. It's not gonna be that important, and the control over the ivory trade, trade goods as well. Yeah, that's gonna be nice. So yeah, lots of ivory here. But yeah, this will allow you to gain a little bit more cash. This is a treasury war goal. You should be able to easily kill them. But remember, you need some ships so that you can ferry your troops to those lands there. I recommend 5 to 10 carracks and about 15 transports together with some the barks to switch some trade, perhaps from the Ming area. But we're gonna talk about this in the exception, in the exceptions and basically the add-ons to the campaign. So slowly moving to Bengal, ally the enemies of Bengal if they're still alive, or the enemies of Jampur if Jampur moved into Bengal, and slowly move your way into India bit by bit. The Indian region is quite volatile, and it might survive and it might not survive, to be honest. And the small guys might become big guys, and the big guys might become small guys, depending on situation here. Although Jampur, Bengal, Vijayanagar, Baghmanis, they have a high chance of surviving and being quite big, with either Jampur or either Bengal surviving in this region here, mostly because they kill themselves. They quite easily kill themselves. It's a deathmatch. Same goes for Baghmanis and Vijayanagar. The same thing goes for it. It's a deathmatch. Either Baghmanis or either Vijayanagar is gonna survive. And just conquer India. I don't know the timetable on India. It depends on how fast you move, but slowly moving to India. And we're gonna talk about, well, basically the exceptions right now. I'm gonna say that by the 1550s, when the mid game, the end of the mid games, and to some degree the start of the late game, in my opinion, starts when you're really OP and quite big. You should have most likely the coastal lines of India, so this area here, the Bengal and the Ceylon trade nodes, full Malacca, full Moluccas, some of Zanzibar, most likely Zambezi, the gold mines in Zambezi, colonies in the Cape of Good Hope, and moving your way into the Ivory Coast here. At the same time, if you are really smart and fast, you can actually move into the Gulf of Aden and also move into Indus. This is simply done if you go for the third idea as religious. Third idea religious is going to allow you to have the Dose Vault CB, which is going to allow you to really cheaply build tunnels. But this is part of the exceptions. So let's go into word dimensions and exceptions. Ming word exceptions: do not attack Ming unless you have a decent amount of troops, extra amount of tech, so 2 techs ahead of Ming, and most likely is doable when you have cannons, and have full relations with Ming, even alliance if at all possible, so that Ming won't attack you. Other word dimensions are the fact that you are going to exploration, and you can actually fabricate, you can actually build the, what's it called, the Australia colony there, which is not going to be that great, I'll be honest. They do suck. They're gonna cost you they're gonna cost you independence, basically, the ones from the vassals. The liberty desire from the vassals are gonna add up, so you don't want to build them earlier on because they're quite crap. You might get some trade and some troops from them, but they're not that great. At the same time, word dimensions and exceptions: do not try to expand to these areas with your colonists simply because they have tropical, and it's not worthy to actually take tropical and try to core the tropical region simply because they cost you local settlers. But understand the development cost is crap as well, and you have extra attrition, so it's not worthy. Just focus on the New World and get to the Cape of Good Hope to block the Europeans from moving from this side to this side. So this is gonna be your own domain that will stop the Europeans from moving. At the same time, past the 1500s, send your second colonist to move over to the New World and try to move to these lands here to slowly move into the new world. Once you hit this part here, then try to fight for the new world with the Europeans, and even to some degree, perhaps if you're lucky enough to switch to not to switch to have the institutions faster, depending on the luck there. Yeah, as you already know, the institutions are well in your favor at the start, so you can actually use them to some degree, but later on you're not going to have the necessary amount of development, or you're not going to be able to spend that many points in developing nations to actually have that amount of shit, basically. I mean, no way to say something. It's like you need to build up quite a huge amount of development to actually get them for free. Like I don't know, 20 to 30 development, which is really gonna cost you, but it's doable. I'm not gonna say it's not doable to get Renaissance quite fast here if you actually spend a decent amount of points, and at the same time get colonism if you have the conquest for the new world, so it's doable as well on that side. But yeah, this was the expansion guide of Ayutthaya. Hope you enjoyed this. It's a bit of trench warfare here, and there's nothing much I can guide you on this side, simply because, well, it's like the history. You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know who's gonna rival you. You don't know who's gonna be your ally. You don't know who's gonna be your enemy. So there are really troublesome situations that you should actually start negotiating to them. For example, you have 5 rivals, 5 enemies, right? So you're basically start for alliances. You, for example, a easy situation would be Lalan rivaled you, Kemal rivaled you, but you're gonna get an alliance with Ayutthaya, so you can actually use Ayutthaya to attack Lanan, then you can actually use Ayutthaya to attack Khmer. So that's gonna be a really easy squash. Then you can actually just snowball through these regions here and take everything in 30 years instead of 50 years. And take this quite fast as well. If, for example, Malacca is already at war with Pasai, then you have more ships than they have, and they took lands from Siak, and their troops are basically stuck on this side here, basically on the side of Siak here. Then you can actually take Bohor and just basically cut the reinforcements from Siak, cut the return of the Malacca armies from Siak, and that's gonna be golden basically. And you can actually siege everything, take some lands, then fuck off, piece them out. Plenty of options here that you can abuse, but you need to be a really good player to do it. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time, guys. Ciao.